Welcome to the first episode of Red Carpet Reviews, featuring the Yamaha XT600Z 1VJ. Today you find out everything about the functionality, history and specs of this infamous Dakar machine.
Let's start off with the history. The XT is a line of enduro and adventure bikes starting in 1976 with the XT500, where X stands for 4-stroke and T stands for trail. The XT600Z was developed after the 500 and the 550, where Tenere stands for the most difficult part of the Paris-Dakar from the time, meaning desert. Tenere has a lot of different models, but today we will review the Tenere XT600Z 1VJ/2RW, the first model which combined kickstart with electric start. Okay. In 1983, Tenere was a huge success. In '84 it was actually the best sold motorcycle in Europe. They gained an image of reliability, of having an indestructible bike ready to rally, to travel, or just have loads of fun and actually look very cool on it. They started with 34L, then came 55W, then came the 1VJ, and afterwards came the 3AJ. So the inspiration of the 1VJ started in 1985, where Jean-Claude Olivet, our godfather, may he rest in peace, helped Yamaha to develop the perfect rally bike for him. He raced it, he became a second, and two other Tenere riders became third and fourth. We can also call him the godfather of the whole adventure segment, because launching the Yamaha in 1983, it was the start of an adventure segment in the world, still very popular with riders today, combining off-road fun with travel and rally options. The functionality of this bike, it is an all-rounder. You can pretty easily modify it to your preferences and take it on all different sorts of adventures. You can ride it with your girlfriend or boyfriend on the highway. It wouldn't be the most comfortable, but she can do it. You can take it on nice off-road adventures in the weekend, or you can stack the bike with luggage and go for long travels. This bike checks off all the boxes. Back in the 80s, people owning a Tenere, you saw them driving professional rallies pretty stockily, mainly only changing the suspension. So this bike is ready to rally. There is a difference in enduro riding with a lighter bike and adventure riding on a bit more heavy bike. The Tenere is just in between those two segments. Being it a bit high and a bit heavy, it isn't the most easiest bike to drive in the mud or in the sand, but on the trails with rock and holes in it, it's a nice bike to ride. For me, it feels like a tractor. It just goes through every hole, up every hill, but in the corners, the guys on the XT500 or the XR600, yeah, and they come there, but I don't care because this tractor brings me everywhere. Still, this bike's got a lot of grunt in it. If you change the exhaust, there's a lot of nice sound, there's a lot of clutch. So riding this for me in the city, you can move through the traffic pretty easily. You can traffic light the racers and still win on the first 100 meters. And it's a real neck turner because everybody hears it, looks at it, and it's actually like the Bluebird in a motorcycle form. What's not to love? Bluebird is Pino, toch? Bluebird is Pino, toch? In town, it's a real neck turner because it's Big Bird impersonated in a motorcycle. It's got this Thunderbird vibes around it, real 80s colors. People like it, people hate it, but I love to ride this cult motorcycle. Please, next time if we shoot a video, let's do it in summertime. What I really like about this bike is the posture. You're really straight. The seat is very comfortable. You don't slide back, but if you want, you can sit more at the back riding off-road. It's also very nice to ride standing when you're doing off-road. Yeah, it fits me. Hup. Let's talk specs and techs. Please note, my bike is not original anymore. I have made some mods. The first thing they changed after the 34L was the tank. They changed it from a 30-liter tank high on the frame to a 24-liter tank shaped as two lungs, hanging over the frame, bringing the weight a bit down. The second thing they changed was the air filter, which was now, instead of under the seat, located under the tank. This change of air filter gave some problems along the way, which we will discuss in a later point. Like I said, they have a Kickstarter and they have an electric starter, which made it very interesting for the public. The engine is a 595cc single cylinder 4-valve engine, giving it a 38 horsepower on the rear wheel. It's got a dry sump system, having a separate oil tank and a little oil cooler at the front. It's got an oil capacity of 2.4 liters. The gearbox got 5 gears. The top speed recorded was 160 kilometers an hour, which I have never reached. But it's also highly dependable on your sprocket setup in your chain kit. It's got a 21-inch front wheel with disc brake at the front and an 18-inch wheel at the back having a drum brake. It's a pretty high bike. It's got a high suspension travel, having a 255 millimeters suspension travel in the front, 235, that's good, suspension travel in the back. The seat height originally was 79 centimeters, which made it a nice bike for tall riders. Shorter riders had the option of lowering the seat a little bit or changing the suspension. We will talk about this in the last chapter. A very important thing, the weight. This bike was heavier than the 34L, while it had less fuel. Fully tanked up and filled with fuels, this bike was 179 kilograms. Traveling wise, this bike it's pretty long and had enough options to adding luggage. Originally it had a rear luggage rack, but you have the options of adding pannier racks on the side. Are you looking for a daily commute? There are better bikes. Are you looking for an enduro bike? There are better bikes. Are you looking for an adventure bike or drive on the highway? There are better bikes. But if you want a bike to cover all these segments, the Tenere XT600Z 1VJ is your ride.
Thanks for watching this episode of Red Carpet Reviews by the Kickback company. And we promise you there's a hell lot more where that came from. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow our Instagram, and check out our web shop for our Kickback adventure apparel. Now, always be aware of the present adventure, hold on tight, and enjoy that ride.